This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good morning, good tomorrow, wherever you're tuning in from this afternoon, this morning. I don't even know what time it is, to be quite frank with you. I just woke up. It was a long weekend so far. Big weekend, getting set up for a bigger weekend at the end of August. But, friends, the Oilers have not had a big weekend. The Oilers, in fact, again, very quiet. Obviously, the lack of videos shows that when there's really not much going on. We kind of ran out of topics at this point. Yeah, we could do a couple of things, but I'll tell you, the results lately have spoke for themselves. You guys are very much so enjoying your summer, and I'm trying to get a couple of good enjoyments in as well. Obviously, out golfing at the Carstairs Community Golf Club this past, yesterday, I guess you could say, and that was a very big good time, I guess. I had a lot of fun. Shot a plus 48. So, in case you ever need to know about my golf game, plus 48 at Carstairs. Yikes. And to give you a reference as well on that, I found a bag of Starbursts that have been in my golf bag since 2017. So, that's how much I get out golfing. But obviously, the Oilers, too, probably get out golfing quite a bit more than me so far this summer. Kitty, 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 please stop clawing my guts there. But yeah, no, you know what? It's been one of those situations this summer where it's been rather slow. But I do want to take a minute to talk about something that has come up quite a bit, to be honest with you. This is something I've discussed a lot with fellow Oilers fans so far this summer, and it's something that I think has been a recurring theme for the past 5, 6, 7 years when it comes to our Edmonton Oilers, and that is how we start. Yes, a lot's been made over the past few years of those 7-2 starts. You know, the Oilers come out, win the first five, lose the next one, win the next two, lose the next one, and suddenly they're 7-2 and 500 by December 1st. And that's kind of where I want to angle on to today's discussion, is just to look at the Oilers' kind of situation here going into this year and where they can improve. And the biggest thing they can improve right out of the gate, you want to see this team be a much better team all year long. You avoid the kind of pile up that happens after the end of October every single year. Yeah, you know what? Last year's October I don't think was nearly as good as normal, but again, it's kind of one of those things for the Oilers right now where you just got to go out there, and I've talked to enough people about it. Just go out and dominate from the word go, right? Beat teams up every single game. Win the games you absolutely should. Lose games tight, one goal, overtime, whatever. But just don't go out there and lay dud after dud from late October to mid December. Because I will tell you, my market research, everything I've done over the past 5 years, I bet you can guess which month is my worst month of the season every single year, right? When we're talking on season from September all the way until June, which month is my worst month? And it is, in fact, November, because the Oilers every year lay a dud in November. People jump off the wagon, right? Everyone's like, oh my goodness, we're actually going to really suck. We might not make the playoffs. Every year I have to deal with just the most lunatic kind of comments about the Oilers are not making the playoffs because this is happening or this is happening or this is happening. And the Oilers made the playoffs a lot of years in a row now. And guess what? Those November comments never seem to hold true about not making the playoffs at this point. But still, it's kind of one of those situations where for the Oilers, you just can't afford, if you're going to go win a Stanley Cup this year, if you're going to be a team to be feared all year long, you just can't afford that normal November down streak, that normal December down streak where you're 500, you're in the second wild card spot. No, 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 no. I've had enough of that. I think we've all had enough of that, and I think it's very fair to ask the Oilers to go out there and from the word go dominate the rest of the NHL and do what they're capable of. Obviously, right? We got Connor McDavid. He put up almost 160 points last year, and we still had that stretch in November and December where it's like, what are we doing? And obviously, too, it really changed once we acquired Matthias Ekholm, but it's kind of one of those things. You shouldn't have to have those stretches when you're the Edmonton Oilers, and obviously too, right? Okay, it's the goaltending, it's the defense, it's the forwards, it's the depth scoring. I don't give a dang what it is. I don't care what our defects are. If we're able to get into the second round consistently every single year, we should be capable of beating up on teams from game 1 to game 82 with no real terrible stretches of hockey like we have had the past 5 years in November and December. So I think the message is quite loud and clear from me at this point. Is just honestly, I want to see good hockey where it's not show up to Rogers Place December 14th on a Saturday and watch the Oilers lose to the Ducks 4-2 because they just didn't even bother to show up, right? They didn't bother to show up. They need to go out there and do the job. So when we're talking right now this summer, what's going to be the biggest kind of change marker for the Edmonton Oilers this season? It is simply that, right? Going out there, competing every game, giving other teams no chance to win, and trying their best to just go out there and rack up as many wins as they possibly can. The Oilers with Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl in their primes, and to a roster like this, Stuart Skinner, Jack Campbell hopefully rebounding, and you think the defense with Matthias Ekholm, there's no reason. Yeah, I don't know how well it bodes for a Stanley Cup, but there's no reason the Oilers couldn't be a 55, 58 win hockey team this year, simply if they go out there and dominate from the word go. So that's kind of been the discussion I've been having over the past few weeks here. Anytime I talk to fellow Oilers fans, it's kind of like, oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And it's kind of like, how do you think the season's going to go? And I'm saying, well, if we can avoid that November, December downstretch, we can definitely put up a season for the record books. Obviously, playoffs, whole nother animal, but I think the expectations are sky high. But the problem is, too, a lot of Oilers fans I have spoken with are kind of cautiously optimistic simply because the simple expectation is you'll suck in November, December, and that'll show your flaws, and you'll be out in the playoffs and simple go again, right? That's the way it seems to go the past few years, but my expectation is the Oilers, if they're serious about winning this year, are going to avoid that November, December downstretch, and we're going to go win ourselves a Stanley Cup. That's kind of the easy way I can put it at this point. Friends, I'm Tyson, this Dolynny TV. I'm tired of getting claw marks in my legs, arms, stomach area, so I'm going to let you go here the rest of today, and we're going to talk probably tomorrow if there's any news. It is Monday. 10 o'clock happens every Monday, and there is something, so we'll discuss it then. I am up on out of here.